This week we are doing Murder Takes a Vacation by Laura Lippman. I'm Jamie Livingston.
And I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable.
All right, this is Sarah's pick.
Yes.
So, Sarah, why is our book club endeavoring on this book?
Well, I realize that I'm starting to really like the murder mystery. And so I'm like, all right, a vacation that has a murder? How fun. And so this one shot out to me. It was a really pleasing and appealing cover. So I was like, let's check this one out.
Okay. So you're saying that you're switching gears to murder mystery. Would you say that thriller would have been your preference before? What would...
Psychological thrillers would be absolutely. I told you James Patterson and all his twists and turns really gets me, but I'm starting to realize how much I like the hunt of who did it, who done it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I would classify James Patterson as murder mystery.
Sure.
I don't think his are...
There's a few of them
suspense.
that are.
Okay.
He has so many books.
He does. But the series that I love is the Women's Murder Club. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely a murder mystery. So that's why I equate him with murder mystery.
Sure. Yes. But I'm really I'm on this trend of maybe it's not as the scary books that I really like, because those are fun for me. I like to check out their brains, but I like to know who did it, what's going on. So
try to solve it. Yeah.
That's what I'm really enjoying right now.
All right, here's what this one is about. I was not expecting this. Mrs. Blossom is not the kind of woman to play the lottery. She's practical, a devoted grandmother, and has a knack for blending into the background, which was an asset during her days assisting private investigator Tess Monahan. But when Mrs. Blossom finds a winning ticket in a parking lot, everything changes, including Mrs. Blossom. She's determined to see the world that sometimes feels as if it's passing her by. But when Mrs. Blossom booked her cruise through France on the MS Solitaire, she did not expect to meet Alan on her transatlantic flight. He is the first man who's sparked something inside her since her beloved husband passed away.
She also didn't expect Alan to be found dead 24 hours later in Paris, a city he wasn't supposed to be in. Now, Mrs. Blossom doesn't know who to trust on board the ship, especially when a new mystifying man, Danny, keeps popping up around every corner, always present when things go awry. He claims that Alan was involved in a transport of a stolen, precious piece of art, and he's convinced that Mrs. Blossom knows more than she lets on regarding both the artifact and Alan's murder.
Mrs. Blossom's questions only increase as the cruise sails down the Seine. Why does it feel like she is being followed? Who was Alan, and why was he killed? Most alarmingly, why do these mysterious men keep flirting with her? What follows is a charming, one-of-a-kind mystery from one of Time magazine's essential crime writers of the last 100 years. The perfect combination of cozy and thrilling, this novel and the delightful Mrs. Blossom are sure to be unforgettable.
I mean, I figured you would love that she's like an elderly grandmother.
That we're in the granny fiction still? Yeah. I was not expecting that. I don't know why I saw the cruise ship or whatever type of boat that is, and I was picturing this was young people on vacation.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
But kudos to you for picking out more granny fiction. I'm here for it. I'm here.
Oh, and then actually, just so you know, the Tess Monahan.
Yes.
Yes, they had a bunch of books with her that was she was the main character. Mrs. Blossom was in those books, but she was kind of like a background. She even mentioned in there she was not used to being seen from the forefront.
Right. She was the assistant to the private investigator. Mm-hmm. So if you've read any of Laura Lippman's books, you've heard this character in the background, and now she's kind of getting her own spotlight, which I think is really fun, especially for one of the elderly characters.
Yeah. All right, a little bit about the author. Laura Lippman's debut, she was recognized as a distinctive voice in mystery fiction and named one of the essential crime writers of the last 100 years. Stephen King, big name, called her special even extraordinary. And Gillian Flynn wrote, "She is simply a brilliant novelist. Her books have won most of the major awards in her fields and been translated into more than 25 languages. She lives in Baltimore, not too far from us, and New Orleans with her teenager."
Yeah, I saw a lot of reviews that talked about how her books are based in Maryland a lot because she's familiar with Baltimore. And so a lot of the reviews were like, I'm from this city. I love Laura Lippman.
All right. I mean, I'm excited. Apparently that has a lot to do with a lot of her books.
Yeah. Some other things that we know about her, which I think is pretty special, is that Lippman worked as a journalist for 20 years. 12 of those years were at the Baltimore Sun, which is a paper. So that's really cool.
That's really cool.
I know that the company that I worked with partnered with the Baltimore Sun, so that was fun. She left daily journalism back in 2001 to start writing novels full-time. She is a dedicated Baltimore resident, known for her love of Southern food, a disciplined writing routine, and a collection of art and robots.
All right. She sounds fun.
That is just a very quirky mix. I don't know what to expect from that.
I actually didn't note it here, but her dad actually worked for the Baltimore Sun as well, and her mom was a librarian.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. A lot of words in that family.
A lot. I mean, obviously.
Okay, so this book is relatively new. This is from June of 2025. So right now, it has about 10,000 ratings on Goodreads, and it has a 3.55.
Okay.
Which I feel for a cozy read isn't too shabby.
Right. It's not too bad. I mean, she only has 2%. 200 people with 1 stars. So it stays right around the 3-4 star range.
Yeah.
So pretty good. All right. So tell me, what do you have for a good review?
Okay, I have Hannah, who gave it 5 stars. She says, I have been a Laura Lippman fan for years and have enjoyed many of her books, but her latest, Murder Takes a Vacation, is my favorite by far. This book was just so fun. Cozy mysteries aren't usually my jam, but Muriel was such a lovely and relatable character that I couldn't stop reading and was really rooting for her. I found the last 10% of the book confusing, but in a way that didn't really bother me. There's a lot of talk about Muriel's weight, but I thought it was handled well and it wasn't triggering to me or overly distracting from the storyline.
Interesting.
Did you see that in the reviews?
Yeah, I did. I saw a lot of that about the weight, her mentioning her weight.
Yeah, I think my poor review talks about that maybe. What do you have for a good review?
All right, I have Tanya. Tanya gives it 5 stars. This one floats back and forth between 3 and 4 stars. Really good writing, and I like the main character. She gave it 5.
I was very confused by that.
I don't know. She gave it 5. Mrs. Blossom, very much. She loved her. I do think this was toying with being a straightforward novel, but Lippman felt she needed to add the mystery, which fell flat for me. Really slow and needed more tweaking. However, Mrs. Blossom carried her line and swiftly to a nice and tidy ending. I read book 2 in the series. I'll add that wish Mrs. Blossom will... I'm confused.
She would read the second book in the series.
Okay, thank you.
It's not out yet. This is just the first book, but it does say that it's number 1 in a series. So Mrs. Blossom is coming back.
Oh, she meant to say I definitely would read
right.
book 2 in the series. Yes. I'll add that I wish Mrs. Blossom was a bit more smart from the get-go, as she was quick to trust her first companion. All
okay.
Right.
I'm still very confused by that one. I think Tanya didn't know how to push the right number of stars because that was a very mediocre review for a 5-star.
It was mediocre, but I mean, I guess she still would read book 2.
Right.
Which says a lot in itself.
Yep.
All right. What do you have for a lower review?
I have a 2-star from Bookworm Jests. This book was a rough read. The positives were there, was enough intrigue that I finished reading it, and it was a pretty easy read. However, this book was a fat, white boomer main character written by a skinny boomer author. I was honestly shocked to see in the author's note that she employed sensitivity readers because there were so many moments where the characters seemed to believe she could think whatever racist, sexist, homophobic thing she wanted, but as long as she didn't say it out loud, it was fine, because she didn't want to be offensive.
That's rough. That seemed heavy.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot going on there, but I feel like that is an inner monologue that maybe should be addressed. Sure. I don't know. My first review said she liked it and thought it was handled well. Yeah. So I don't know. There were definitely conflicting reviews on that.
All right, so I have a 2-star from Amy. She goes, oof. For a book that was written in part to dispel fat phobia, the main character described herself as fat and worried about her weight a lot. For a book about a smart woman, she made some really dumb choices. I very rarely figure out the mystery, but it all seemed pretty obvious to me well before the end. For a book about older people, a lot of the relationships were very junior high school. There were numerous aspects that reminded me of Charade, one of my favorite movies, which I enjoyed, but I don't think I'll be traveling with Mrs. Blossom again.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, for someone who grew up where, like, vanity was very important in my life, it was been brought up a lot, and I still, like, conquer that phobia of, like, thinking about it. And so I'm very interested in to see if it's triggering or if it's done well.
Well, and I think it is interesting that it's coming from a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Or somebody who is elevated in age. I don't remember how old I think it's late 60s. I think she's 68. I could be making that up.
But I also grew up around grandparents who, like my grandmothers, really cared about how they looked no matter how old they were, always needed their makeup on, their hair done, cared about. So I understand that only because I lived it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. All right, so a little fun fact about us. So she wins this lottery ticket, right? And so I want to know, if you found a winning lottery ticket, would you cash it in? And if it was for a vacation, would you take that vacation?
Duh. Yes. Yes. I think it said that she found the winning lottery ticket like in the parking lot somewhere. And that's a tough question. I mean, is it like a scratch-off ticket? It's just like if you go and scan it and see. But that's why you got to write your name on the back of it. That's why you got to take a picture of it. That's why you got to keep your lotto tickets. Do you guys... Well, first, you answer the question. Yes? Would you cash it in? Would you cash it in?
Oh, I think I've watched too many movies and read too many books. I would be like, is this planted? Is this calculated? Is someone trying to set me up? Especially if it was for a vacation. Like, is someone trying to get me onto this boat? And so I already have this, like, forefront thinking, like, reading this going, all right, so someone wanted to make sure she was on this boat. And so that's already in the back of my head.
I'm not there at all. Nope. I'm like... Give me this trip. Get me out of here. That would be fun.
But by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm in my 60s and I'm on my own, for sure. I've done a lot of traveling, and it was usually I would be meeting up with my sister somewhere. So I've done a lot of the first leg of travel by myself.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
I'm not opposed.
I mean, if I found a winning lottery ticket for cash, I'm cashing it in.
Right. You claim that sucker.
Do you play the lottery?
We get lottery tickets like at Christmas for stocking stuffers or when the jackpot is crazy high. And it's just, just a what if.
Yeah. So I like the scratch-offs. I think those are kind of fun. They're kind of a fun little thing.
Scratch-offs drive me crazy, though, because, like, we never win anything on them. And it's like...
Have you won the lottery yet?
No.
Same thing.
But I think... It's the anticipation because we get like the scratchers for the kids.
Right.
And then they're like frantically and they think that they're going to win something. And then they're really let down. And then we're let down because it was like, we just spent so much money on these tickets for nothing.
It's for their excitement, their joy, their 1 second.
Right. And then the mess of all the little shavings everywhere.
Do it outside.
Yeah. In the winter. It's cold out there.
Well, I will warm up if I'm going to win $100.
Right. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Do you play lottery beyond scratch-offs?
Oh, I mean, my husband buys those like when it's really like going to hit big. He's like, all right, our chances are okay. I'm like, sure.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you're just helping fund the lottery.
Right. But whatever your state lotto goes towards. I don't even know what it is here. I know... In multiple states, it's like the education.
Right, the school system. And then I don't feel so bad spending it. Who knows? Who knows around here? But no, me personally, I'm not going to buy a lottery ticket. I mean, what's the chances of me winning? Not very likely.
Not very likely, but man, would it be nice if he did.
I mean, you have to play it to win it, so someone wins it. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
There would be signs.
There would be signs.
I love that. I love every meme that's like, I wouldn't tell anybody I won the lottery, but there would be signs. And then it's like this Beauty and the Beast library with like the rolling ladder to... Like, that's what my house would have in it if I won the lottery.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not ever cleaning another bathroom ever again.
Nope.
Or doing laundry. Someone else is going to come right in, and those are the two things. And maybe a
chef.
Chef. Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, I would still actually like to work. I like working. I actually like being productive. I couldn't sit at home all day.
I could. I could find things to do at home all day, for sure.
Hanging out with your chef and your maid.
Yep. Reading books. We could have so many podcast episodes.
That's true. That really, yeah, you just give me $1 million if you win 10
We'd have
billion.
a nice pool. I could sit in the pool and read all day.
That's true. That's
all right,
true.
well, let's go buy a lottery ticket and keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable. Okay, the episode is over. Get reading.
But before you go, like, review, and subscribe.
Turn on notifications to get the alert when the full episode drops.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board. Let's get you home before you turn into a pumpkin.